More than a few already had collapsed from the heat and strain. The march seemed endless. "Wie weit noch?" Bettelman whined. How much farther? Roused by the question, Heisler asked Schwertlein, "Do you think we are in Pennsylvania, Fritz?" "No," Schwertlein told him. "Emmitsburg is in Maryland. We have not come to Emmitsburg. After that is Pennsylvania." To their rear, a commotion rose. Horses complained and hot voices commanded, "Give way there! Get out of the way!" Accustomed to their fate, Schwertlein and his fellow Germans stepped to the side of the road, seizing the excuse for a few minutes' rest. Their clothing steamed. As the limbers, guns, and caissons neared, the soldiers stepped back deeper into the brush. Even so, great splashes of mud reached them. Low Irish by the look of them. The gunners ignored the foot soldiers as they whipped their horses through the clinging slop. "If they stick and ask me to help, I don't help them no more," Bettelman muttered. Then he reconsidered and asked, "Perhaps I am better to be an artilleryman, to ride so. Better than this Wurschweinte infantry." The last caisson sloshed by, leaving knee-deep traces and long puddles amid the slime. Some fellow attempted to raise a song, but the mood was too disheartened. With the rain blown off, the heat punched back through the trees that lined their route. Lieutenant Trank rode up and dismounted beside them. He always walked with the men, mounting his horse only when he needed to reach regiment or brigade headquarters in a hurry. In the 26th, officers and men saw each other differently. Some had fought with Sigel all the way to Freiburg in '49, and so many of them had been driven into exile after the failed revolutions in the Germanies that most viewed rank as a necessary evil on the path to a utopia of equals. They were not Prussians, that was the thing, but men from Baden and Hesse, from the Palatinate or the Lower Rhine. They could march as well as anyone and fight better than most. But they were civilized Germans, not slaves of the Junker tyrants beyond the Elbe. "Was news, Herr Lieutenant?" Heisler asked. "Any news?" "It's true about Meade. He's in command now." "Another Englishman, so I think we lose again," Bettelman commented. "Well, don't say that to Colonel Chris," the lieutenant told him. "He doesn't like talk of losing, and he'll be riding up the column in a little while. Halt's Maul, ja?" "Der Chris is a good man," Bettelman said. "I think he is really German, not a Pole." "Bettelman thinks every good man has to be German," Heisler put in. "The Poles are a mixed-up bunch, though," the lieutenant observed. "You have their minor noblemen like Chris, there's Lachta. Some of them are educated men, and they're brave beyond imagining. But the peasants live like animals, and they make no effort to improve themselves." "Spoken like a true Hohenzollern," Schwertlein told him. "I should run up and ask the band to play Prussian's Gloria." "The Lion of Rastatt roars," Lieutenant Trank laughed. "Come on, Fritz, you know what I say is true." Schwertlein hid the sudden wound he felt. He had not been a lion at Rastatt. Not at the end, when the garrison surrendered and he hid in a woman's cupboard, while the Prussian officers rounded up the revolutionaries they would later shoot in a ditch below the walls. He had fought until that hour, though, in his angry amateur's way. It was only at the end that his nerve had failed him. Trank's mockery was meant in fun, of course. He knew only that Schwertlein had been at Rastatt, nothing more. The two men had befriended one another in their early days of exile in Milwaukee, before either realized that he had become American in his heart. Trank, an advocate back in Konstanz, had been struggling to read the law in his new home, while Schwertlein, the younger by 3 years, had not yet found his vocation as a journalist. They had shared their dreams of a free, universal society, as well as the inevitable nostalgia of the immigrant. But not every detail of their pasts had come into the open. In America, you could edit your previous life like a newspaper article.